With pubs, though, which you just mentioned, I think there's another layer which we can throw in as well. It's something that I like to call pub law. Namely, if you see something written on the side of a pub or on a sign or printed on a leaflet inside a pub, it's probably not true. It turns out that if you write something on the side of something, people will believe you, whatever it is. I can't think of a single pub in the entire country that's got an accurate date printed on its sign. And that's just the basic reality of it. And a lot of those so-called dates, this is the oldest pub in such and such a town, or the oldest pub in the county, or there's maybe about a couple of dozen pubs which claim to be the oldest in the country, the entire country. None of them have really got the chops to back it up when you actually scratch the surface or even look at it in a very superficial way. It's usually dates plucked out of the air. And we're just looking at a whole sort of situation where some of these dates have been plucked out of the air incredibly recently as well. In the modern period, within my own lifetime, I'm only 46, and I've been able to, again, do these earlier citation exercises and find out when the landlords were actually saying, oh, we're the oldest pub. And you can actually, because of newspaper archives or photographic data or whatever it is, restaurant guides sometimes, you can actually come to a conclusion as to who it was that plucks it out of the air, and sometimes even name and shame them as well. Some of them are a bit older. So I live in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And about a mile and a half from where I live is the Old Trip to Jerusalem, which is a world famous pub, timber framed. It's got caves within it. I used to work there when I was a student in the late 90s. And it's a very evocative building. It's very popular. It's always very busy. When I used to work as a tour manager for rock bands, it was the place to take the guys for a pint before any of the shows in Nottingham, that kind of thing. So, I got really interested in this place, obviously, because it claims to be the oldest in the country. But there's another couple of pubs in the town as well, which claim to be older. And it became a sort of an exercise for me to try and work out which one was the oldest. And it turns out it's not the Trip to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
It's a 17th century building, which has been massively remodeled and didn't become a pub till the mid 18th century. Fortunately, I was having a chat with the landlord about this recently, and I'm relieved to know that he's got a sense of humour about the work I've been doing, and I'm not barred. But it turns out, anyway, the dating of the trip, they claim it dates to 1189, and the dating of that was pulled out of the air during a marketing exercise by a landlord in 1910.
Right.
So you can actually pinpoint even exactly who did it. A fella called George Ward.